Well, episode 167 of Gracefully and Frankly. I'm Erin Davis.
I'm Lisa Brandt, and how are you in Mexico today?
Good. It's Cinco de Mayo. Not Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mario. Yeah, and I am counting the days until I see my favorite person. My hairdresser.
The roots need a little touch-up, do they?
Oh, my God. It's a mini-series now. It's just, they're that long. I tried with the nail scissors. I haven't taken actual kitchen scissors to my hair yet because I know I'll pay the price, right? But it's out of control, just flat and yucky and stuff. And I cannot wait to get the foils and the blades and everything else. And that will happen the day after I arrive home. So March 20th, I'm in the chair, baby.
Good for you.
Oh, and Rob, too. Did I mention Rob? I'm looking forward to seeing him, too.
I certainly hope so. He's been getting that new cabin of yours, well, new to you cabin, all ready for you. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, and he says he's in cleanup mode in the condo as well. So I don't know what kind of frat stuff's been going on there since I've been gone, but...
Pizza boxes and
yes,
crushed pop cans and beer cans everywhere. And
yeah. Absolutely. Lingerie on the lamps, all of it. But it's his, right? So, yeah. So I know that St. Patrick's Day and the Day of the Luck and all of that isn't for a little while, but... You had such a lucky day last week that I think that it's just a great note on which to start the podcast this week because we all need good news and you got like at least a double barrel of it.
Well, we did talk briefly about gold and how your sister Heather helped in advising me.
Yes.
And gold's at an all-time high. The price has been fluctuating a little bit, but it's pretty high. So I want to be absolutely clear that this watch of my mom's was not an heirloom. It was nothing she cared about. It was a watch my dad bought her that matched one he bought himself in Vegas when he won some money. And she hated it, and she never wore it.
It was ugly as sin. You can go ahead and say it. It looked like big gold nuggets.
It wasn't pretty. It did look like gold nuggets, although when I took it out, it didn't look as bad as it did in my memory, but she hated it. So
okay.
I thought, well, now is a good time to trade that in for something and see how much they give me. And so I took it in. It's 14 karat gold. So I took it into, made an appointment, took it into a gold buyer and thought, wow, if I get like $800 or $900, I'm going to be really happy with this. They gave me $2,000.
Ooh.
And the woman said to me, you look surprised, like you didn't think you were going to get that much out of this. And I said, you think? Like my chin was on the counter. My mom would be so happy that this thing she never even liked and just collected dust in a drawer was worth that much money. So, yeah, it was kind of fun.
Wow.
So then I walked out of there with a nice check and I'd gone to fill up on gas before then, and my car was so dirty, I bought a car wash, but the car wash was blocked off because they were doing maintenance. So after I went to the gold buyer, I thought, well, I'll just pull around and I'll do it now. So I pulled up. The guy was just taking the cones away from the laneway to the car wash, and I waved and I said, thanks, good timing, huh? And he goes, great timing, wait there, I'm going to give you a free wash.
What?
And I said, I already bought one. And he goes, that's okay, it's good for 90 days, hang on to the other one, you're getting a free wash, because I know you came back.
Oh,
you were here before. Yeah. So I got a free wash. So it was kind of my lucky day. Yeah.
I guess so. So did you go buy a lottery ticket or did you feel like you'd already hit the lottery? I mean, the $2,000 and a free car wash.
Yeah. No, I didn't go buy a lottery ticket. I thought, no. I know you can't win if you don't play, but it was already a good enough day for me.
Wow. Well, maybe you were a bit of a guinea pig to see if the whole thing worked. I mean, you could have gotten into that car wash with your free ticket and then the whole thing shuts down and you end up with a great big brush through your windshield.
Well, I wondered, you laugh, but I wondered about that because while I was sitting there and he gave me the works. And while the brush was going over, it said, pull through dryer slowly the whole time. Mm-hmm. So I think he was testing the lights and everything because I knew enough that when my car was covered in suds not to pull through the dryer.
Well, that's a good motto for life. Pull through slowly if you can.
Right.
If you
Good
can.
idea.
And keep your underside clean.
My goodness. Just in case.
Well, I had a chance to be both in the Toronto Star last week and on the CBC News with Ian Hannah-Mansing. because people were reaching out to see what the situation was in Puerto Vallarta and to get my take on it. Ian's producers wanted to hear from somebody who was getting home. But it's like, yeah, I'll call you in 3 weeks. I'm not leaving. So I wasn't who
Mm.
they wanted, unfortunately. So darn it, my big breaks almost. And then,
Oh, jeez, your big break.
but a big break from radio. Marilyn Dennis retiring. That was huge news, huh?
Yeah, it was. And I'm glad for her because I think about her once in a while, see a promo or see an ad or a billboard or something and think, oh, go have fun, go do something fun
Yeah.
you want to do. But I suppose she thought the show for her, it has been fun.
Yeah, well, I guess so, or she wouldn't be getting up so stupid hours to do it. And of course, with her fairly newly minted husband, Jim, and her son, Adam, and her granddaughter, I mean, she's got so much to enjoy. So I'm
Yes.
very happy for her showing herself out. And that's rare in our business. And I think probably the longest running woman on the radio, at least in Toronto, ever. So good for her.
Yeah, it really is a big milestone that she hit. You're right. Not many people get to leave on their own terms. You did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Some do. But after 40 years, I mean,
Yeah.
incredible. She's an institution.
Absolutely. Well, it's certainly your lucky day again if you've been waiting for your envy pillow, because we got an email from Kathy and Kim, and you can be on their mailing list too, saying that finally their stock is back in.
Yeah, they don't fill a warehouse with a bunch of pillows and hope that they're going to get shipped out. They are very conscious of the ecology, of the environment, of not making people overwork when they don't need to, and just so many things that they are just very ethical about. And one of them is not buying so much stock that it just sits there. So it's not totally pillow on demand, but it's kind of that way. And so sometimes you wait a little while. Well, it's worth waiting for.
It absolutely is. Spring into a new, good sleep, the pillow you will take everywhere and love forever, and maybe even leave to your daughter to take to a store after you've passed. Uh, it's go to envypillow. No, that was stupid. Um,
I didn't quite get it. Okay.
okay. All right. Let me try that again. God, that's almost worth leaving in. Spring into a new pillow, a great sleep, and one that, who knows, you may even want to leave to your own daughter when you have that heavenly rest at last. Well, that's stupid too. Shut up. Oh my God. Okay. So spring into a new sleep, a good sleep, less neck pain, and fewer wrinkles. It's all at the website, pillow.com, and use the code GF for 10% off. Kathy and Kim will thank you, and so will we.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Tell me what's going to happen in BC now when the clocks aren't going to change after, one more time? I'm not quite sure why. I know a lot of people want this to happen. They want to stop going to daylight saving time, or is it they want to stop leaving daylight saving time? Explain it to me.
Well, there was a survey of BC residents. Rob and I were not among them, unfortunately. And 93% said it's a good idea and they prefer year-round daylight time. Okay. And please, for the love of grammarians ever, it's not savings time. It's not.
It's not a bank.
Right. Okay. So BC decided not to wait for California, Oregon, or Washington. And the premier, David Eby, said that this coming clock change will be the last. So people are going, huzzah, yay, this is great. But if you stop and think about it, in the weeks around the winter solstice, when there's the least amount of light, that the sun is not going to come up until after 9 in the morning. I couldn't care less. I don't get up till after 9 in the morning. But how about kids at school and the pedestrians in the morning and cyclists all over BC, of course.
Oh,
The earliest sunset will be 5:14 p.m. So as it stands, sunset is 4:14. But most kids are home by then. It's the mornings that are going to be so brutally dark. And maybe staying in standard time would have been the best idea. But what do I know? I don't know anything. I just wish that they had listened to some more scientific evidence instead of 9 out of 10 people saying, yeah, do this for me now.
right. That is really, it sounds dangerous to have it dark so long in the morning, doesn't it?
It does. Now, I'm all for not messing with your body clock because you know that when the clocks change, it just knocks you, or it did me. It took me for about a week for my body clock to adjust to 2 a.m. instead of 3 a.m. or, whatever. What are your thoughts?
I don't have any.
Huh. And that's this show for this week. Okay. The day that Lisa ran out of thoughts and Aaron just blathered.
Well, the truth is, no, you're not blathering, you're explaining. And the truth is, it doesn't matter to me either way now because of the way my life is. I just don't really care that much whether it changes or not. So I'm willing to go with what the majority wants. But I know changing the clock is not comfortable a lot of the time. But again, it's not a big deal for me.
I'm worried too about our devices. Like, does my phone know that my province is not changing? Maybe by then it will. I'm not sure. But I have so much trouble figuring out time, Lisa. It's just, I can't even get what day the full moon is going to be. I had it happening on March the 3rd and it happened March 2nd and whatever.
People were making a big deal about the lunar eclipse, and it was on and on and on. And then at the end, it was like, well, you can only see it out west. So, so it's like, well, then don't bother me with it.
Well, I know, even though she says she won't be affected, Lisa's going to need more coffee, and you can buy us a coffee at gracefullyandfrankly.com. Go to our website. There's a little coffee cup icon down on the left-hand side, and we appreciate you and acknowledge you in the next week's show. So did you happen to catch the SAG-AFTRA Awards in memoriam section last Sunday? If you didn't, it's on Netflix because Netflix streamed the whole award show, which was great for me. I actually got to see an award show.
It was beautifully done. Although people complained, some people were left out, but I thought it was beautifully done. Some of the little clips they showed actually had speaking in them, and I don't know. I really thought it was lovely, and Every Time You Go Away is such a beautiful song.
It was. And Cynthia Erivo sang it, and then there was This Little Heart of Mine, which followed after. It was perfectly done, but it's a heavy seeing the people that we've lost in the past year, and even in the past couple of weeks. I mean, last week, why did it hit so hard that an 86-year-old man had passed away? Neil Sedaka is who we're talking about, but this guy stayed relevant for, like 5 or 6 decades?
Right. And I didn't even really realize that when he was dominating in the 70s, which is when I remember him, that was his comeback from the 60s. Right. Because he had written and performed so many songs. But he was just a ubiquitous presence in the 70s. And I think it just kind of feels like part of our childhood went with him.
Yeah, Laughter in the Rain and Love Will Keep Us Together that he wrote, and Bad Blood with Elton John, and Should Have Never Let You Go with his daughter Dara. Oh, that was a beautiful song. And the songs that our parents loved, too. And I think I had forgotten that he wrote Oh, Carol for Carol Klein, who became Carole King.
Right.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And a gorgeous song for the Carpenters called Solitaire that used to make me cry in the night when I would listen to my mom's Carpenters albums. But it was really nice to kind of go into that rabbit hole on YouTube and just listen to some of his songs. But that's the thing, right? They're never really gone. And same with the people in the in memoriam. We get to enjoy their work forever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Catherine O'Hara, Rob Reiner made movies that, imagine making, what do you make, 7 movies or something, and every one of them's a classic. It's like
incredible.
What? Yeah, it is incredible.
The magic touch. And you love dishy celebrity stuff. So tell us all about the book that you are looking forward to.
Okay, Liza Minnelli is going to spill. She's been a star since stars were invented. The book is coming out later this month. It's called Kids, Wait Till You Hear This. And she says she's going to tell everything. I don't know about you, but once in a while, I just love those books where they just don't hold back and tell the truth about people. I mean, she's already said some shady things about Lady Gaga and her being in a wheelchair at the Oscars and how it wasn't her idea and it was all to make her look feeble. And I cannot wait to see what she writes about her mom, Judy Garland.
Oh, boy.
And she was at Studio 54. It's that whole era. Yeah, I think it should be a fascinating read. It better be.
That melted candle that she married, the last one she married, David Guest. But most of the chapters could probably be called What Was I Thinking?
Yes.
And then just go from there. But I didn't love that she dissed Gaga and said that when Gaga reached over and said, I've got you, Liza felt awful because she'd been put into this wheelchair. She wasn't allowed to walk out with a cane or whatever she needed by the producers. So she didn't have an eye line to the prompter. And then Gaga was there swooping in like a guardian angel. But Gaga had taken that role on in real life with Tony Bennett. So I think it's kind of what we expected her to do. I think that's unkind.
I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting to find out from her point of view how it felt because it's the 30-somethings that rule the world right now. So how does the older woman feel about how that played out? I think it's just kind of cool. Whether it's ridiculous or whatever, I'm looking forward to her take on this stuff. She's not exactly the most stable, reliable person in the world, and I think that's what's going to make it fun.
Yeah. From the book, What Was I Thinking? Yeah, no kidding. Well, it's not exactly the smoothest segue, but you sent me an article.
Yes.
For Gracefully and Frankly, because we're always sending each other ideas and either giving them a thumbs up or a what were you thinking? But it's about old people smell.
Okay, so if you think back, for example, to your grandmother, or whichever grandmother you were closest to, I don't know about you, but I can remember how my grandma smelled, my dad's mom.
Yeah.
It was like a combination of lavender and cardboard and pie crust and I don't know what else.
Mold.
Well, this is the thing. So without insulting anybody,
Yes.
Old people smell apparently is a real thing. And it's all because once we turn 40, this starts around 40. So we have fatty acids on the surface of our skin. And the way those acids degrade changes. And it turns into this compound that gives a bit of an odor. So it doesn't have to be unpleasant necessarily, but it does exist. So it's kind of neat that there's actually a cause of it, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, the only issue is you kind of get nose blind and not notice it on yourself. When you grab a hold of a grandkid and they snuggle in and think, oh, that's what grandma smells like, they notice it, but you don't. So doctors say just shower more often or change your bedding more often or whatever to get rid of it if you think you might have this thing. But I don't want everybody panicking, thinking, oh, my God, I smell like an old person. I mean, a little bit of cologne and a lot of Ivory soap takes care of most of it. But it's just that it is a real thing, and I thought that was kind of interesting.
That is interesting because I do remember walking into my grandma's bedroom. Actually, any chance I got, I slept with my grandmother. I loved that. I didn't mind her snoring. And going to sleep at night, I would have the local radio station tuned to Garter Ted Armstrong preaching the world tomorrow from the Calgary radio station because I would go to sleep to that. And now, of course, I listen to sleep stories to go to sleep. So it's kind of funny how that is all carried on. But yeah, there was that distinct smell. And now I wonder if Colin and Jane have noticed it on Toot and me. I mean, Toot got his nickname from farting, which isn't fair because it was never him. I'll fess up to that now. But our bedroom mostly smells like dogs. So maybe they mask the smell better.
And it might not be strong for some people. It might be strong for others. And it's just that apparently our skin does change that much. You know, loses its moisture, gains a couple wrinkles, and makes us smell like vintage books.
I like that much, much better. Well, speaking of things that soap can cure, you're going to be so proud of me. I did a wilderness woman thing this week, Lisa.
What?
Okay, here's the question. How do you unclog a toilet without a plunger?
Ew. I don't know.
Well, first you pray and then you swear. Those are the
Right.
first two steps.
That makes sense. Yep.
So I had a little trouble with a flush one day. And I'm watching the water rise and everything's gone down, but in the refill, the water is rising, rising, rising. And I'm thinking, okay, this is a Rob job, or as we call it in our house, a blue job. There's blue jobs and pink jobs, and he gets the blue jobs, but nothing that sounds like that. So I'm on the phone with him and he said, well, you could go buy a plunger. Yeah, like I'm going to do that. I remember the CFRB News Talk 1010 host John Moore saying once, walking through downtown Toronto carrying a plunger is like announcing, I have big poo. But so anyway, I'm not going to walk into Habitat and go into that store where you and I bought the squeegee
Right.
for the showers and ask for a plunger. I could, but I wasn't going to. I just met these two ladies in the neighborhood. Was I going to text one and ask if she had a plunger? No, that's a third date kind of thing. So what to do? So Rob and he's coming up with ideas, and his is, ask somebody for one. No. So my idea was to ask Dr. Google, and Google suggested hot water, but not boiling because it can crack the porcelain. I have to underline that and put it in capital letters and italicize all at once. Hot water and dish soap. Okay, I'll give this a try. And I was going to FaceTime with Rob while I did it, but there's no Wi-Fi connection in the bathroom. I know. Are we savages? But anyway, so I did it. I heated the water just from the tap and put in a bucket full and a whole lot of dish soap, flushed it, and it worked.
Wow, just like in pioneer days.
Exactly what they would have done with the outhouse. Actually, I think in pioneer days, they either would have filled in the hole, built a new outhouse, or, just moved. What did they do on Little House in the Prairies? That's why they moved, right? The Biffy was full.
Pa, shitter's full. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, I felt immensely proud of myself. I did a blue job.
Good for you.
Thank you. Now, I was going to ask Derek, too,
He probably would have come up with something similar.
Or he would have said, well, I'm putting Lisa on a plane with a plunger.
Oh,
okay.
Not happening. I'm thinking, I'm doing the math in that house. There are 2 other toilets. That's where I'm going. But anyway.
I know. I searched high and low, Lisa. There were no plungers.
Oh, no. I just mean leave that one, put the lid down, run away, and go to the other 2.
That, too, would work. Thank you. Avoidance is my next choice.
Right.
Are you a hugger?
I'm a hugger.
You are a hugger. You're a good hugger. That hug we had at the airport when you just arrived. I find, Lisa, do you find, other than being aware of our smells now, which of course we will be, is it a thing of age that we're becoming better huggers, or is it just something that we've grown into as we've realized that more cultures are better huggers than we grew up as? I know a lot of deep thoughts here as I'm sitting pondering how to unplug a toilet, but what's your take on hugging?
Well, I think people have body language. Like, I have a couple friends who don't hug, and they come right out and say, I'm not a hugger. So I always watch for body language, but if they seem open, I'm going in. Because a little bit of touch and comfort can go a long way. I know I'd love to be hugged every day. I walk toward Derek every day with my arms out, and he knows it's hug time.
Aww.
The day he turns away and doesn't notice is the day we have problems.
That's true. I'm always asking Rob for a hug. I don't think that he really thinks about it, but
Yeah.
we were raised in this waspish environment. My family, never huggers. But yet near the end of her life, and probably 20 years before, my mom became a hugger. And I think it's getting permission from other people to hug. And for men to kiss each other. Like, that's something that Rob would never have done 30, 40 years ago. That men coming in and just a big smack on the cheek, meaning a kiss, of course. And I wonder how much of it has to do with being around, say, Italians. Or I remember the first time I heard a Jewish father say to his son, "I love you, honey." And
Mm,
I thought, honey, calling your son honey.
right.
And so there are all of these barriers that we have. And I don't know if it's because of the waspy upbringing or what it is, but the more we're around other people, the more it just feels natural to connect, like heart to heart, too, not
Yes.
just a come in, quick pat on the back, and then pull back again.
I don't know if you remember Gord Downey from the Tragically Hip when he was dying and they went on that final tour. He kissed everyone on the lips every night, all the men.
Wow.
And it was a little, I'm sure, uncomfortable for some of them at first, but he's like, I've got an expiry date that is loud and clear. You're getting a kiss. And so the band members, everybody got a kiss on the lips every night. Just a quick peck. And it was something that was very important to him. And so everybody was into it.
Well, the kiss on the lips is a different thing.
Yeah.
It's different, and
Yeah.
it can be taken wrong, and it can be delivered wrong. And, now we're not even supposed to kiss our grandkids on the lips. And I understand that. I get it. It's kind of yucky when you think of, your grandmother well, my grandmother always had bright red lips. She would never have done that. So it's all about boundaries and knowing what the other person's boundaries are. But I kind of love that we're becoming a hugger society. And our daughter-in-law will say, "I'm not a hugger."
Mm.
And once in a while I'll push through and I'll just say, "Look, I'm sorry. I know you don't want a hug. I really need this hug."
Yep.
Just to show her how much I love her.
Right.
And so, I don't know, you work around it. And I guess maybe I've pushed a boundary or two where I shouldn't have, but I'm glad to see it coming out more. The world needs more huggers instead of bombers and fights. And oh my God.
It does. And now that you've told me this thing about kissing on the lips, I've got to make a phone call to my registered massage therapist. I think she needs an apology. It was a really good massage, though. Oh, well.
All righty. It's time for This Week in Totally Stupid or Twits. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
What you want is some spice, and you want your name back, right?
I guess so. And it's a story about a woman from Ottawa, just a 22-year-old named Lily Bond. And she was about to take her Ottawa business national. And the Spice Girls, wait, are they even still a thing? The Spice Girls sued her. So what's in a spelling, you ask, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's going to come out sounding the same, she spelled it SPYCEGIRLZ, Spice Girls seasoning. But the only way it works is to play off the group, the Spice Girls. So now she's got to come up with another name.
Right.
I don't know, the Magically Fripp? I'm not sure what she's going to do, but
Instead of the Tragically Hip. I get it.
coming up with an original name isn't easy, and she just proved it.
And she's had this spice company, or she started doing it since she's 13 years old. And now lawyers, but I guess the lawyers for the band, like there are lawyers for everybody who isn't still together or probably who have long passed, who have the rights to things. And so they're just not going to let these things pop up everywhere.
Yeah, it's a trademark. What are you going to do, right?
Yeah, her trademark was initially approved in 2023. It was filed with the Canadian Intellectual Property Office. And now she's been told that if she doesn't cease using the name, it could likely lead to the average Canadian consumer mistakenly believing your goods are somehow associated with our clients.
I think they got a case, yeah.
I think they do, but if there's some way that she can cash in on her brush with the Spice Girls, her name is Bond, Lily Bond, which of course she can't use.
Right.
Silly Lily Spices, because I was silly to think I could go up against the Spice Girls or something like that. I don't know. Well, good luck to Lily. We're going to make the Spice Girls the twits, and not you, not with your spelling. But no one has ever infringed on the name Sierra Sil, and I think I know why. because it's not that easy to remember and it's kind of challenging to spell. But once you've used it, you do not forget it because it works. There's a 30-day guarantee that if you don't feel a difference in your joint pain, especially your knees and your elbows and your shoulders, within 14 days of starting Sierra Sil, maybe it's not that hard to remember, then you get your money back. So how do we remember Sierra Sil, Lisa?
Sierra, like the mountains. Sil, S-I-L, I think sister-in-law, Sil.
Hi.
SierraSil.com, and the code GF for Gracefully and Frankly, of course, gets you 14% off your purchase.
Because of the joint formula 14. See, it's easy to remember if you want to remember it, and you do want to remember Sierra Sil. Well, that's it for us this week. We're getting closer and closer to spring, and you were saying that just yesterday morning you had bus cancellations in your local newscasts?
Yeah, from fog. So it wasn't snow for once anyway.
Oh, thoughts and prayers, Lisa. And I'm just, as I say, counting the days to get home to my sweetie, my hairdresser, and my Rob. And I'll let you know how it goes with this couple that I met, just a woman on a dog walk. And she said, hey, you want to go for dinner with my girlfriend and I tomorrow night? And I said yes, just like I said yes to meeting Kalita Haverland. And I wrote about her, this singer, songwriter, performer, in this past Monday's blog at erindavis.com. And you met her too. And what a joy she is, and a great author too.
Yeah, I actually had met her years and years ago, but just briefly when my ex-husband played in her band. He played bass. Small world.
It sure is.
Ask her about singing with Shania Twain if you haven't already.
Oh, yeah, she did. Shania was her backup singer. Great story, and it's all in her book, Reason to Sing. The link is at erindavis.com. And thank you for joining us. Don't forget Lisa blogs too. You'll find it at our Gracefully and Frankly Facebook page, Voice of Lisa Brandt with a T in there.com. And we'll be back with you here next week.
Say hi to the doggies for me.
You know I will. They miss Auntie Lisa.
Yeah, I miss them.